It would appear the Dominic Brown era in Ironpigs baseball has come to a conclusion now that the talented young outfielder has been summoned to Philadelphia when Shane Victorino went on the disabled list. Brown hits the way he should hit, the way the potential he has. I don't expect to see him back in an Ironpigs uniform. There's plenty of room up there in that lineup for a solid bat. A lot of question marks about Brown, the way he ended last year with the Phillies and the way he hit over the offseason. Did a little research. If you want to go to the Hog blog and check out how some other notable baseball names did in their first exposure to Major League pitching, you might be a little surprised at some of the numbers that those guys put up. Brown leads a team that's 24-16, second best record in the International League, as it begins play Friday night up in Scranton in the finale of the short series, the rain-shortened series up in Scranton. They return home tomorrow night to begin an 8-game homestand with Gwinnett and Rochester. This team's 17-8 over its last 25 games, 10-2 over its 8-2. 8-2 over its last 10 games. They've been hitting, even without Kevin Franson, who was hitting .321 when he was suspended for 50 games for violating baseball's drug policy. This team's hitting .271 and averaging 6.5 runs a game over the last 21 games. Veterans like Delvin Young, Brandon Moss, Josh Barfield, and Tag Bozide, who was caught in no man's land for the first 5 weeks or so of the season, stuck on the disabled list as he waited for a roster spot to open up. Unfortunately, it came when Francis got suspended, but Bozide has taken advantage of the opportunity, has been hitting since he came off the DL. Pitching, been solid all year. It's no secret. It's been continued that way. It will be interesting to see what develops with this rotation, with Vance Worley more than likely heading to Philadelphia very soon to fill in for Joe Blanton when he goes back on the disabled list. If it's an extended period, we may not see Worley back here for a long time. He's got that kind of potential, and I think they're that high on him. That will leave a kind of a suspect rotation here, an unproven, untested rotation led by Nate Bump, who is an all-star, but behind him, Brian Bass, Brian Gordon, who's been spectacular since moving into the rotation, Ryan Fearbend. The fifth starter could be Drew Naylor if he comes up from Florida, or Eddie Bonine could move back out of the bullpen. Bonine might want to stay in the bullpen. That might be his best opportunity to get back to the majors with the Phillies. It's going to be unlikely he cracks that starting rotation in Philadelphia unless there's some injuries. Like I said, they return home with the second best record. They've been 13-6 on the road, struggled a little bit at home. Be nice to see them get on a roll at home. They have been winning the close games. They're 5-1 this year in one-run games after having the worst record in the league last year by far in that category. So if the veterans can hang on, it's going to be interesting over the last few weeks of May, early June, to see who might exercise out clauses in their contracts. Some of these guys might find a market elsewhere. But if this team can stay together a little bit, if some of these veterans can continue to perform, if the pitching stays solid, which no reason to think it won't, this could be an interesting summer here at Coca-Cola Park, and it could be interesting to see this team stay in playoff contention, which, if you've been an Ironpig fan for the last 3 years, will be a welcome sight. Again, this is Morning Call sports writer Jeff Schuler, Ironpigs beat writer, signing off until